Members, the House is resumed. Call on Government Orders of the Day numbers 2 and 3.
Companies and Limited Partnerships Amendment Bill, Committee stage continued. Victims' Orders Against Violent Offenders Bill, Committee stage continued.
I declare the House in committee for further consideration of the Companies and Limited Partnerships Amendment Bill and the Victims' Orders Against Violent Offenders Bill. Mr. Chairman.
Speaker. Members, the House and Committee for further consideration of the Companies and Limited Partnerships Amendment Bill and for consideration of the Victims' Orders Against Violent Offenders Bill. Members, we turn first to the Companies and Limited Partnerships Amendment Bill. When we were last considering the bill, we were debating Part 1 and the Honourable Craig Foss had the call. He's just over 4.5 minutes remaining.
Mr. Chairman.
Honourable Craig Foss.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Picking up from where we left last time, Mr. Parker had raised a few questions, and I'll just quickly readdress those. And someone else raised a question about the size of the SOP, and I pointed out that the SOP is not quite just a standalone SOP. It's an RT-tracked version of the bill, including the SOP. So essentially, the SOP is the new bill, because I think one member was trying to measure it by weight or something somewhat naive. And Mr. Parker was asking about section 135. He was concerned about that last time, and I pointed out that the criminalisation of section 135 has in fact been removed, and that was the part he picked up upon. But of course, that is now was a standalone offence, but it's now been included as a new offence under section 380 of the Companies Act, and the serious misconduct that will be caught is the director dishonesty incurring debt for a company when their company is insolvent or the director knew the company would become insolvent. And Mr. Chair, that kind of goes to the crux of, the only issue really, and as the committee in their own commentary were wrestling with how to deal with the level or the measurement of criminality of directors' behaviour and how it should be described and captured. And as you can see, Mr. Chair, in that SOP, we've landed in, I think, a relatively good space, because regardless of whatever definitions came about, of course, there were questions such as what if a company was facing difficulty and then some reckless trading issues start to arise because directors were making decisions on a company's circumstances where, in one interpretation, they could have been behaving recklessly and therefore facing some criminal issues, or, in fact, they were behaving as the shareholders would expect and trying to make decisions to trade or build their way out of whatever the circumstances were. And, of course, there's a distinction on a balance or a measurement of the risk involved when a director or directors or a board are making such decisions, regardless of how they got into the position, the company got into the position that it may find itself in. So it was at that area, and there was a lot of discussion, and as I say, that's where the SOPs landed. And we really landed in a place where looking at, dishonest actions with intent are the areas which the criminality side of things here address. And as another speaker spoke about last time, an issue is the expression of potential effect on the entrepreneurship or the willingness of directors to be directors full stop. And that was a fair comment. And again, the committee, I think, did a really good job in grappling with that amongst the other issues they dealt with. And all parties from whatever side of the spectrum could actually see the issues that we've been tried to deal with. And I'm confident that we have come to a place of balance, even though we've almost come full circle about good faith now into bad faith and what that means for a company circumstances under this new Companies and Limited Partnerships Bill, Mr. Chair. So I'm very comfortable, and again, I thank the committee for the hard work that it did dealing with some pretty complex issues. I do note on previous readings this bill's passed, I think, unanimously across the House, and that's fantastic. A credit to the committee's work, but also credit to the ongoing consultation and ownership that these commerce bills and our acts I ask that officials engage with the various sectors so there's strong ownership of the bills once they land and turn into act. acts. And it might take a bit longer to get that process through, but when it lands across the House, we tend to have pretty good support, Mr Chair.
Chris Farfoy.
Thank you very much, Mr Chair. To speak to Part 1 of the Companies and Limited Partnerships Amendment Bill, can I first of all thank the